Welcome to the I Love It When podcast. My name's Mo. I'm your host and guide. I'd like to welcome you along for the ride as we journey into all things unknown and magical. My intention is to help you realize that we have the ability to shift and create our reality. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of I Love It When. I'm your host, Mo, and today I'm stoked to bring Briana Blythe back on the podcast. Briana was on back in March, I believe, of 2026. So just 6 or 7 months ago. And she came on to talk about her journey starting Tone Circle in Seattle, Washington. She was an opera singer. And so I brought her back on because she recently reached out to me and she's doing a new immersive experience coming in September. And she really wants to let as many people know about it as possible, as do I. I love Briana's story. I love what she's doing with Tone Circle. And through this episode today, too, we also talked a lot about just what's happening for her because as she's experiencing the growth of Tone Circle, she's also for herself experiencing what happens as you continue to clear and remove blockages in your body through toning. It's incredible. So, to give you guys a little recap, if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. We did actually an experience on that episode where we did some toning so you could see what it's like, which was so cool. I met Briana at the Metaphysical Wellness Fair in Mount Vernon and invited her to come on the podcast after that. So that's how we first met. So here's the 411 on Briana. Briana's mission is to reconnect human voices with human hearts, offering all people more access to deep listening and authentic expression of their innate inner wisdom. Before delving into the world of sound healing, Briana trained extensively in classical vocal performance and opera. After burnout and personal loss led her to pivot careers and go silent, it was vocal toning that ultimately healed her relationship with her voice. Through that process, she came to understand a fundamental truth. Your voice, free from fear, is the most potent energy tool you carry with you everywhere. She now leads transformational vocal workshops and sound experiences that guide others to release fear, shame, self-judgment, and limiting beliefs, keeping them from stepping into the full alchemical power of their voice to support their unique life journey. As founder of Tone Circle, Briana is committed to making this vocal empowerment accessible to all, creating welcoming, meditative spaces where people can return to their voices for greater calm, clarity, confidence, and collective harmony in everyday life. So in today's episode, we talk about what has shifted and happened for Tone Circle since February, what attendees and Briana are experiencing during the Tone Circles through their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual senses, the Vocal Alchemy Immersive, which is coming up in September, which you can sign up for. It's a 2-day experience at the end of September. And I'm going to put the link to her website in the show notes so that you can sign up easily. And then how Briana has utilized these techniques to help clear energetic blockages in her body and connect more deeply with her spirit guides. I'm so excited for you all to hear this episode. I was just completely enraptured with it the whole time. At one point during it, the internet cut out on us and she had to restart her computer. And that always, like my camera usually goes out when we're talking about spirit and energy. And this time it just like completely cut us off. And so we had to restart. But this was a fascinating episode and I'm so excited for you all to hear. And I hope that some of you decide to sign up and attend the immersive in September, because this work is life-changing. All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of I Love It When. I am so thrilled to have Briana Blythe. We're on a roll, you guys. We were having so much fun chatting that I was like, we got to just press record because there's so much to talk about here. So Briana, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you here and just to have you share kind of what has progressed since just February. There's so much is happening with you, so thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes, it has been a wild ride.
Yeah.
It's been a wild
So many things have
15
happened,
years.
but remind people first of all, if you're listening, if you haven't heard Brianna's episode, go back and listen to it because that will definitely give you a foundation of more about who she is and her story to getting to where she is. But why don't you just remind people a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, absolutely. I'm the founder of Tone Circle and a former opera singer, actually, who essentially lost her voice for probably over a decade and found vocal toning and vocal toning meditation. And it really changed my entire life. And it's become my life's mission to work with vocal empowerment because it truly is one of our superpowers. So
Mm.
excited to bring that forward in all the many ways that they are that there is to bring it forward. So yeah,
Yeah.
excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Totally. I was just telling Brianna, one of my clients actually mentioned to me the other day, she was passing over the different podcast episodes and she was like, "Oh, I don't need to listen to the opera singer one." And it probably was over the course of a couple months where finally she's like, maybe I'll listen to it. And it was like one of her favorite episodes. And she actually did the toning exercise and recorded herself and listened back to it. So I don't think people really, if you've never toned before, which I know for a long time I had never experienced it, you don't really know what the power of it is until you try it. It can feel
Mhm.
strange. It can feel kind of weird to listen to your voice. So many people that I talk to on a regular basis, even, I oftentimes will assign them homework if they're working with me around using their voice in different ways, just because I don't think there's one person who I've met who hasn't said, "Oh, I don't love the sound of my voice." And it's just, it usually tells me there's something there to discover. And so I love what you're doing. And why don't you just share a little bit about some of the things that have been happening since February, since I last saw you with Tone Circle?
Yes, absolutely. And just for anybody who's new here too, absolutely vocal toning is super simple and you don't have to have any musical experience.
Oh,
In
yeah.
in some cases I hesitate to say I have an opera background because it's not meant to intimidate anyone. Truly,
Yeah.
anyone can do this. It's
Yeah.
humming or just sustained sound on a vowel. So really, we do this in the shower, we do it in the car, we
Hmm.
do it if we make a long exclamation like, ah, I'm so surprised, or wow, that, those vowels are tones as well. So
Yeah.
it's an incredible practice that grounds us and gets our nervous system calm within 5 minutes. And
Wow.
within 6 to 10 puts us reliably into a deep theta state meditation. So
Okay.
vocal toning is a hugely powerful opportunity for us to recenter and
Thank you
calm
for
ourselves
saying those
down.
time frames, because
Absolutely.
that's just even great for me to hear too. If 6 to 10 minutes gets you to theta.
Mhm. Absolutely,
How
and
cool.
reliably so, which is one of
Okay.
the tricks. A lot of us who loved meditation but struggled to get there, vocal toning will take the guesswork out of the practice.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and so much has happened since we talked last. So cool. Yeah, things are moving quickly. And I'm so excited to have a group of facilitators. I think I mentioned I quickly learned that, it's impossible for me to do all the events myself. So I've been training folks, and we have a beautiful group of people coming forward, just tremendously talented individuals from all walks of life who are bringing this practice to more communities around the nation, actually. So
Hmm.
I'm really excited to see that happening and to support them and to support more communities being able to
Yeah.
have access to this meditation practice. So that's been a
Lovely.
big one. And another big one is that really discovering through my own practice that vocal toning, the way we do in a singing meditation format through Tone Circle, is truly just the beginning. So we're in a group, we get to co-regulate, which is there's some magic that happens when humans sit in a circle. We definitely experience that. And we get to receive such incredible things through this practice together. It's a foundation of safe space, and we get to drop the fear and the judgment and the shame, and we get to access our voice and reclaim it as this beautiful energy tool that lives with us and goes with us everywhere.
Hmm.
And but then the question is, what is it that we do once that voice is free and once we have reclaimed it? What is it we do with it? And the answer is we get to create our reality. It's a huge energy tool for our well-being, of course, and also to create the experience of life that we are most interested in having.
Mm.
And there are many ways to do that. And so it's been a beautiful process of bringing forward techniques that have downloaded and to me or have been coalesced into a body of work I now call Tone Circle Vocal Alchemy. So it's exciting to bring those forward. We've been doing little tidbits, kind of introductions to those techniques one at a time through the Sacred Resonance event that we've been holding in West Seattle.
Mm.
Little 15-minute intros each time, which have been a lot of fun. And for the first time, I'm bringing forward an immersive in the fall where we'll be going through 12 of those techniques together. And it's going to be this beautiful community journey through all of those ways of using our voice to harmonize our experience in so many different ways, whether that's healing or connection, or I mean, they're just, the list goes on. So I'm excited to talk
Yeah.
about that today and anything else we get into, because we always get into all sorts of fun stuff.
So many things, so many things. So,
Yeah,
like, in such a
absolutely.
short period of time, 6, 7 months here, you've had just amazing growth. I mean, just looking at
Hmm.
the facilitators alone that you've added to your journey, like you said, you can reach so many more people that way. What are some of the
Yes.
things that people have been experiencing in the tone circles as attendees?
Yes. Well, circles themselves, excuse me, are extremely alchemical in nature already. So when we get together in a circle, this is something that I think we've experienced as humans for eons. But in this case, we're experiencing at the very basic level spontaneous harmony, which is
Hmm.
beautiful and healing and auditorily pleasant. And we're also co-regulating each other. So we each have a heart field, right? It's a magnetic field around our heart, and that's measurable at some distance,
Hmm.
2 to 10 feet. So if even one or two people in a circle are experiencing what we call heart coherence and are producing a coherent field, that is contagious to all of
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
And so we all receive the benefits, and we all up level and raise our vibration together. It's a beautiful practice. And we also have a lot of people, myself included, right? My journey started with really processing trauma and negative thought cycles. Our voice has this incredible ability to bring up almost instantaneously the negative thought cycles or difficult
Hmm.
things that we're ready to release. And it can be a little jarring sometimes. Oh my gosh, what was that? I haven't thought about that in years, for example. And but it also gives us the ability to process those things. So
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
including myself, went through, especially at the beginning, it's really common to have things come up for release, and then to be able to use our voices in safe space to
Hmm.
start releasing those things. And a lot of
Hmm.
those involve, really have a baseline of fear, psychological fear.
Hmm.
And a lot of those involve shame and other methods of self judgment, messaging, old messaging that we received early on, all the way to experiences when we've used our voices to stand up for ourselves and it didn't go so well, right?
Hmm.
So there's some really amazing healing happening in these circles on physical, emotional, and mental levels. And along that line, we have people reporting just incredible physical awakenings, right? Of chakra centers, of saying, wow, I just have never felt my solar
Hmm.
plexus like that. Or, I felt it, blow out the back in a way that was, so integrative, and I've never felt that before. Or, feeling super grounded and elevated all at the same time for the
Hmm.
whole rest of the day. So I never get tired of hearing these things.
Yeah.
And one of the most wild things in the best way is the visions and visitations that people report. And I too have had these as well, where people experience angelic presences, ancestral presences, light beings, and all sorts of other energy available. Like tastes of their clairs, right? The clairaudience, the clairvoyance, those
Oh,
kinds of
yeah.
things, which is really amazing. So I just love hearing about those. People are really, really reporting a lot of cool things in these circles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What has been happening for you specifically as you're going through this journey and building these things? I'm guessing
Yeah.
that as you're continuing to build on your skills, I know this happens for me as well. Things happen for you that to like, I love that saying, and I forget where this quote's from, but you can only take people where you've been, like as far as you've been. So to
Yes.
continue learning and growing, right? Things
Yes.
happen. So I'm wondering what has unfurled for you.
That's a very astute question, and that is exactly what I'm looking to create here, is that anything that is of benefit to me, to share it as soon as possible with as many people as possible, because this work is so important. My All of these techniques that I'll be teaching at the immersive are things that have truly changed my life. I use them all the time. They're things that really elevate my experience of life in general. They've helped with vagal tone and increased resilience at an emotional level that I did not expect. It's also elevated moments of relational experiences, right? Of connection. And one of the most fun evidence pieces of that is the video of the viral hummingbird. So I sang
Yes.
to a hummingbird and used some of these techniques doing that with a little baby hummingbird. And it sang back,
It's such the
and
cutest video. Oh my
just the
gosh.
cutest little video. So there are things like this where that really truly have taken my life from, oh, okay, I can regulate myself to get through,
Hmm.
to a perspective of I can use my voice to help take that 2 or 3 or 5 steps farther into an experience of magic in my
Hmm.
life that really does feel miraculous. Like,
Hmm.
how is this happening right now kind of experiences. And that's something everybody needs to have access to. I truly believe that in my heart of hearts, that this is not
Yeah.
not to be gate kept for a single moment.
Yeah.
So I'm really, truly excited to share it with everybody because there are as many of these techniques as there are aspects of life to apply them to. So we'll
Okay.
be going through 12, but it's an ever expanding body of work, this vocal
Okay.
alchemy
Can
set
you
of
share like
techniques.
one or two of the names of the techniques and a little bit about them or?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And some of these are known and they're
Okay.
put through a lens that combines, because what I love about these techniques is that they combine a vocal technique, which anyone can do, with energy work and understanding
Okay.
subtle energy work. And ultimately they remove the doubt and the questioning of whether this subtle energy work is working
Mm.
for us.
Oh, I
So,
love
for
that.
example, yeah, yeah, which is one of the things I struggled with a lot, not just getting into meditation, but hey, I've set this intention, but do I know that it really got set? You
Hmm.
know,
Yes.
that it's really out there. Well, I'll receive biofeedback now. Like we
Wow.
receive the feedback that we need through our voice,
Okay.
almost as a diagnostic tool to help understand whether that's working or not. So
Okay.
intention setting for problem solving is one of our beautiful techniques that we'll be going through, which is really exciting. And that's a way to really know, hey, I've done this and I can expect it, and
Hmm.
and that expectation is also part of the manifestation process
Oh
on a
yeah.
quantum
That's
level
so
as well.
cool and critical for people listening. I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to that because I don't know how many times I've talked to clients about, hey, when you set the intention, it is done. And to trust that, to know and trust that and
Yes,
get feedback, I can see how that would be just critical and really help, I don't know, speed up that process of helping people learn to trust themselves and
absolutely.
then thus the
Yeah.
manifestation.
I think
Hmm.
that's the biggest part of vocal alchemy for me, is that we step into tone circles for freedom and sovereignty and the reclamation of our own voice.
Hmm.
Vocal alchemy, that's a receiving experience, right?
Hmm.
We're receiving messages, we're receiving healing. With vocal alchemy, this is intentional action, right? We're using our voice with intentionality to create and to manifest. And it's an active empowerment through agency. So we're actually
Mm.
stepping into what do we want to create, not just what's available,
Yeah.
right? What do we want to create? We're stepping into that true partnership with the universe, and that does involve a ton of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust. And beyond that, there's an authority of voice as well, right? To say this is, with watching these techniques work, right? The trust elevates to a point of authority where we're able to create even more effectively the next time we set out to do it as well.
Hmm.
Because that authority in is what bends spoons, for example,
Hmm. Hmm.
the expectation that this is going to work and I trust it will work, and therefore I have the authority to say it will work,
Yeah.
you know. So we're really stepping into that as a collective, I think, in general, and voice is one way to do it. And it's really like, it's just, I'll maintain this till the day I die. What we're doing with voice and tone circle is one spoke of the wheel, right? There are many
Yeah.
ways to arrive to source energy, to personal authority and empowerment.
Hmm.
And this is my work to help build this spoke of the
This
wheel into
book.
the center that allows people to reclaim voices that have been lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
in terms of in the actual techniques that we'll be going through, we'll be starting with some chakra toning. This is a
Okay.
wonderful way to just balance and empower those core energy centers that we have. Our voice is excellent at doing that. I love that practice. It's a great way to start the morning.
Hmm.
So it's a good way to start the morning. We'll also be doing some vocal charging. So a lot of people are familiar with charging water, or the
Yeah.
ability to charge water. That applies to anything. It's
Okay.
simply achieving a coherent field. So we'll be working with that and some techniques for that, which I'm really excited about.
Cool.
And then, really fun ones. So we're going to have a ton of this. Really is a journey. We're going to be releasing, we're going to be doing all sorts of fun stuff, but we're also going to be working with laughter, which is one of my favorite things to
Oh, I
work
love
with.
that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, laughter
Sometimes I
when
forget how powerful it is, but when you're in the midst of laughter, then I remind myself, like, it is such a powerful, strong, joyful feeling. It makes sense that it
yes,
would be a part of what you're doing. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Laughter is a wonderful, it's really medicine. It really is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be medicine even when real joy feels far away,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't have to be, it can actually help us cultivate joy and shift
Mm-hmm.
the energy of what we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some ways to get into it, that don't mean we have to feel joy first,
Yes.
right? So we'll look at some of those as well.
Okay.
And then, oh my gosh, what else? We talked about intention setting for problem solving. We'll be looking at some six healing sounds from the five element tradition. I love that so many of these come from multitudes of traditions and put through this lens of innovation and energy work for the now. That's a wonderful one we're pulling in from five element acupuncture knowledge and lineage, which is just beautiful. Um, and I also love the vocal body scans. That's another one that's really fun.
Okay.
Similar to the chakra toning, we really have this ability to access and repair our own biofields, which are the subtle energy fields that inform our densest experience of self in our bodies. So we working with that energy field around us and the layers of it with our voice can be it's an incredible diagnostic tool that we carry with us in our throats.
Hmm.
And we actually receive information through it as well as we can share information.
Okay.
So that's a
Rad.
beautiful, yeah. There's a lot. So, I mean, it may be too much to go through all 12 now, but like, are you drowning yet?
No, no, I'm good if you do like a couple more. It's
Oh,
reminding
yeah.
me, just talking
Mhm.
about the biofeedback, I just had Katie Steinley on this last episode, and she talked about she does human design, and she also does a quantum biofeedback session where she records part of your voice and then puts it through a machine or something, and it can detect where things are out of alignment in your body. It can also
Yes.
detect like limiting beliefs, and
Yes.
it's just blowing my mind. And so this doesn't surprise me, and yet I don't know how to do it. So it's definitely
Yes.
something like,
Yes.
yeah, I would love to
Yes.
learn.
Yes, well, that's very true. And one of the unique things about using our voices as opposed to external instruments is that when we use our voices, the sound is literally traveling through all
Mm,
layers of us, right?
mm-hmm,
So our atoms, our molecules, our cells, our flesh, our
mm-hmm,
bone, our biofields, all of that, right? So it's
mm-hmm,
carrying all of the information that's stored in
mm-hmm,
our body and our biofields with it as it
mm-hmm.
goes, right? Because
Wild.
sound, just like water, carries information. So, and that's part of the reason you can sense somebody's energy when they say hello or just when they
Yeah,
walk in the room, right? Is they're
yeah,
transmitting all of that is them, right?
yeah.
All that is them throughout the experience. So we can work with that consciously and as a way to work through blockages, to heal our
Mm-hmm,
physical body, to change what we're transmitting there with whatever intention you want to bring to the practice.
mm-hmm.
But I love the vocal body scan for that reason. We get
Cool.
to work with all the subtle energies. And then some, I don't know if you know what dissonance is in a musical context,
Mm,
but it's when two notes are very, very, very close together and they create kind of a tension
okay.
that you're like, oh, that's
Yeah,
uncomfortable. We work with that intentionally it's a wonderful way to, first of all, receive a dopamine release, right?
yeah.
It's a beautiful way to create some good chemicals in our brain.
Okay.
But also we're working with the wisdom of that as a tool for resilience, right? To be able to have more staying power when things feel uncertain or chaotic, or difficult. So it's a really beautiful way to practice stepping into what's uncomfortable and
Mm-hmm.
be able to do so with the understanding that resolution is always coming. So
Wow.
we work with that intentionally as well. So yeah, it's a big body of things. We do vocal smudging is another one where we talk about you know, you don't actually need to
Mm.
bring your sage or your smoke or your, you know, your
Yeah.
sprays with you, right? We actually have all of those things we need
Yeah.
to transmit through our voice. I mean, it's a we actually have all of the elements in us, right?
Yeah.
Air, water, fire, that you can you can transmit all of that through your voice as well. So there's some ways to simply just smudge a space using sound, using your
Yeah.
voice, bring a
That
group
one
together.
reminds me, that's something that I've definitely learned along the way that I've told clients or people that I've worked with, like you can go through the rooms in your house and just clap and then tell energy to leave if there's any energy to leave. But I don't think I really, the thing I think that intrigues me about this, well, there's many things, but because voice I have recognized has always been an important part of my growth, speaking my truth. It's a lot of what I've talked about. I don't think, again, that I'm aware, and most of the population is aware of just how powerful it is. The power that sound has coming out of your own body to direct energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's
And
wild.
that's a big part of what we're working with is that just acknowledging that fact can shift everything.
Yeah.
There's a book that I love called The Fifth Agreement that talks
Oh,
a lot
yes.
about that, where language is concerned too.
Yeah.
And being really intentional about the words that we choose because we're quite literally, and people talk about words as spells all the time, and that's not incorrect. But it talks a little bit about why. And the more I work with the voice, the more I insist that it's I can't say things like, "Oh, I'm laughing so hard, I'm dead," right? Cancel, cancel, cancel. Like
Yeah.
it's not what I want to be putting out there, right?
Yeah.
To receive back. So it's been interesting to work with that. The power of the voice really it is infinite. It
Yeah.
is, and I think we're just touching the surface even now of what
Yeah.
that is with these tools. And it really has deepened to a point of connection at a multi-dimensional level with using these tools. And we can talk more about that too if you want. It's kind of a
Yeah.
new thing for me to step into using these tools not just for connection with other physical embodied beings, people and animals, right? And even plants, right? But
Yeah.
also with those that we don't see, you know. Um, but having these tools in our tool belt to first clear, harmonize the space so that it is coherent and
Hmm.
inviting to those of the frequency that of the light that we would like to spend time with, right,
Hmm.
is really important. It's very foundational. So
Hmm.
these tools really help us get there and receive the experiences that we want to have more often.
Nice. Can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that? About how did you get to the place where you had an experience like that? Did you go in with that intention
Yes.
or did it just happen randomly?
Yeah, so for me it's actually been a really recent encounter where I have always had a sense energetically that I've um had a team of
Hmm.
mine that's been here. And I think a lot of us have that sense of spirit guides or,
Totally.
you know, exactly. It's been very much like that for me as well, most of my adult life, but I haven't necessarily had direct conversations with any of them. um, that has changed where in using these techniques for self-regulation first and foremost, but then also with intention to connect, that it has opened up an entire new universe, quite literally,
Wow.
of interdimensional connection with those that are here to support us on this journey. So I'm really excited to bring these forward as a foundational model for people who are also interested in taking the next step
Yeah.
and literally using your voice to communicate with your star team.
It makes so much
So that's
sense,
really
right?
cool.
Like I was telling you before we hit record that because you guys know if you're listening, you know I could not help myself from asking about this before we recorded and during. Uh because I've told Brianna like I've never seen my team and I don't hear them as different voices. I just hear my own voice in my head. And I've been told before that um if it's not necessary, they don't want to show themselves to me in that way because it would distract me, as it totally would. And I would just talk to them all day long, all day long. And they don't want to distract me from like where I'm at in my path. But It would make sense, though, that they would want us to be as regulated and calm as possible, like to get rid of any energy or blocks that could affect our reaction. Because I know for me,
Mhm.
prior to doing any of this work, if something had approached me in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day, I probably would have completely freaked out and it wouldn't have helped in my journey. And so it makes sense that self-regulation and learning these things and clearing ourselves gets us to a place where we're able to handle it without kind of losing
Absolutely.
ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, that's been very much my experience as well, is that, and for me, it's come through most recently in my journey through internal family systems therapy and through toning. The combination has
Oh,
been truly transformative in reducing. So my experience has been that first comes regulation,
okay.
and then ideally next alignment. So alignment
Okay.
meaning that we're not in conflict internally, and we're not experiencing drag in the water like fear and shame and self-judgment, right? That again, that fear is something that if we're carrying it in, it can be used against us almost as an activating factor, right? And
Okay.
that's what's been shown to me too, is that fear really has no place in some of these multidimensional experiences.
I was
And
going to ask you what that looked like when you talk about conflict in the mind. Um,
mhm,
so if you're having like if you're basically battling with yourself over is this real, is it not? Should I be afraid of it? Should I not? That's conflict, and that could appear if you were having um, a connection with something in a multidimensional sense that could show up and then be used against you, kind
mhm.
of. That makes so much sense.
Certainly, yes, and even conflict down to just their parts, facets of myself fighting with the other facet, and it could be
Yeah.
about the reality of this multidimensional experience, or it
Yeah.
could be about anything for that matter. You know,
Hmm.
it could be self-judgment or
Yeah.
self-worth, or about
Yeah.
any number of things that coming into a sense of mental alignment that
Yeah.
um, you know and therefore I think it's really achievable much more through self-regulation. I mean, there's been a lot of us have done a lot of work in therapy for many years and that can help, right?
Yeah.
But also what I love about vocal toning is that it really can help bypass a lot of the work, or it can help us bring, not necessarily that we wouldn't need to do the work, but it can help us move through some of those lesser I guess more conflict riddled experiences,
Okay.
and leave room for what's next while also noticing that those are there. So I've had moments where I will tone and I know that something's there and it's brought something up for me and I'm feeling some conflict or fear, and I can bookmark it, right? I say I
Oh,
see you and I'll come back to you.
okay.
But that's a self energy saying, I'm caring for the part of me that has come up, and I'm still focused on this level of alignment for the experience I want to have, right?
Okay.
So there's a level of agency and choice in the mental alignment that can happen
Okay.
through vocal toning that I've been so appreciative of, because
Yeah.
that um that item or whatever has come up for me doesn't have to take over.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's the thing, doesn't have to take over. So yeah, the second thing it really in this has been finding some sense of mental alignment or understanding what to do when there is some sort of threat to that alignment,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then moving through to a place of feeling um where self energy, as they say in IFS, or higher
Hmm.
self experience, or um, core consciousness or source energy. Well, we have a or spirit. We have a lot of words for that.
Hmm.
And step forward and be more present more often. So that's really been the second stage that I've been through, is feeling that presence of self much more clearly and
Hmm.
in the forefront. And from there, it's been interesting using these vocal alchemy techniques and using toning to tune in also to the the presences around me in these cases after I've done the clearing, after I've created a good container, after I've calmed and comforted myself and worked on any healing that I'd like to do for that day. that a lot of other experiences become present, and they vary greatly. But most clearly, I've been really excited to feel direct communication opportunities with my own star team that's here to facilitate this journey with me in
Okay.
co-collaboration. However, they're very much respectful and want to stay at a distance to, and they're here to help, but they're very clear that the requests are necessary for the assistance.
This is so interesting to
And
hear, and I love it. Just reinforces the things I've learned along the way from the people I've trusted that those people on your team, this energies on your team are not going to do anything unless you ask. And it just
yes.
reinforces what you've said
Hmm.
about the importance of the voice.
Hmm.
Again, I have to
Yes.
direct the energy.
Hmm. And there's a difference between asking mentally and asking verbally.
Yeah.
There's a an initiative that happens. There's a decision that
Mm.
has to be made to speak it. I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit last time, where we often think that taking action on inspiration requires making that phone call or
Yeah.
sending that email, right? But really, truly speaking it aloud, it is enough. It is an action. It is a
You are
big
so making me
action.
think of, and maybe this is part of the reason why you're on the podcast again. It's because there's something here for, well, there's always something here for me. You just said the difference between speaking it mentally and speaking it out loud. I've wondered often over the years, and I just said this like yesterday to Tom, why do am I so much better at helping other people manifest things than myself sometimes? And I do manifest, I recognize that. But I can oftentimes help people manifest stuff like this, like objects, like real things or money or whatever it is. And I think part of it is because I'm speaking to them about it, like literally out loud, and I'm not speaking my own stuff out loud.
Mm,
And that's just like
mhm,
being reinforced right now with what you said, because you're right. You don't literally have to take the action. But I do a lot of things mentally. I say a lot
mhm,
more now, having Tom, not having had a partner before for a long time. It was mostly in my head. But now I think
yeah.
I might just have to start saying things out loud more.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend. 5 stars, highly recommend. Yeah, it really does a
What do you
lot of
think that
things.
difference is from your perspective between, because I do believe, obviously, speaking in our mind is there's something there about like I do voice affirmations and I have my clients do that. We record your own voice saying affirmations so that you train your brain. So I know there's something there, but what do you think the
Yeah.
main difference is between saying it in your mind versus saying it out loud? Is it
Hmm.
just that other
Hmm.
things can hear it, or what is it?
That's a good question. My interpretation of it is that there are several layers of agency we have to step through to be able to
Okay,
fully actualize in voice what we'd like to see come to fruition.
that makes sense.
So there are, it really does take a heart decision, or even lower than that. We're starting with a core desire in that solar plexus area. You can often feel that in your stomach, right? It's so, or hunger for something, right? And
Yeah.
then it moves to heart, right? Or maybe to head, right? But it may live in our body, but it doesn't really radiate outward necessarily until we do something with intention. And some people, there are lots of other ways to do that, right? But one of the most direct ways, and one of the superpowers we carry with us everywhere, is to speak or sing or
Hmm.
intone what it is that's in our bodies, in our hearts, in our fiery belly, right?
Hmm.
For desire. And it takes a fair few steps to to go through, right? To create the alignment of head, heart, solar plexus, and trust and decision and agency, all of those things, to put something into words verbally and say, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
so fascinating.
that's a lot of alignment we've achieved, even, and lack of fear, right? So, and
Yeah.
courage, right? That
Yeah.
we've stepped into, even to say something out loud to ourselves at home in the mirror while we're doing the dishes, whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
right? Let alone to somebody else. So you have to think, that especially our higher dimensional beings that are here to support us, right? They're really waiting for that alignment,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not that they can't hear when we say something in our minds, but they're waiting for that full initiative
Mm-hmm.
that we've decided to take on for co-creation.
Yeah. So what did you experience? How did you feel physically when you started to sense those multidimensional beings that you hadn't really sensed before in that way? Did you see
It was
something,
an
hear something?
Yeah. It
Did
was
your
an interesting
body?
juxtaposition. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much so. This happened to me initially in an internal family systems therapy session,
Okay.
and it was
It was actually during your session that it was
yeah, it was
happening.
actually during my
Wow.
session, which it has not been uncommon for the last few years for my spirit, higher self to step forward and sort of take the wheel.
Okay.
However, what was not common was to have
Hmm.
to start referring to myself in the third person and start realizing, oh wow, I actually have there's something else that's looking to speak through me, and they showed me how to enable verbal. First of all, they showed me that this happens all the time anyway. Where
Yeah.
I think is it
I think that
Eileen
happens for me
McKusick,
too.
who does the biofield tuning. She talks about something coming in the mail slot in the back where there's an idea or something that I may not have I couldn't think of myself mentally. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but that's new, right? That's
Yeah.
often them sharing something new or a new idea or something like
That's
that,
such a
which
good
was
way to think
cool.
of it.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat analogy. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so that's not uncommon, and that is them as well. But to bring that forward through voice, they showed some ways to bring forward um, in speaking what their words are, but that there is truly they've taught me how to do that in sort of a mini channeling moment. And I'm definitely no experienced channeler at this point. It's new.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that I could see and experience their energy like very directly. Their forms were clear, the colors were clear, and they still
Wow.
are to some degree in peripheral vision all the time now. It felt very much like an attunement where I had the essential signs of such things for me are the teeth chattering and the shivers and the shaking and after I had basically asked for okay, I think I've done as much as I can today, just sobbing for like half an hour because it was so intense. It wasn't loud, it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
intense. But it was really surprising for me to see that these are multi-race higher dimensional beings as
Hmm.
part of the team. Not the entire team. There are five of these beings that came forward to share their presence and to show me the difference between them and self energy and how we're
Wow.
very similar because we are all higher dimensional beings
Yeah.
embodied, right, as humans.
Yeah.
So that what feeling of self is very familiar and similar to
To what their
feeling their
energy is.
presence as well.
How
Yeah.
interesting. Did
Hmm.
they look
Yeah.
like things or beings that you knew that you'd seen before?
I'd seen before, perhaps in passing, in various TV shows and things like that, but absolutely not scary one at all. The experience was that at least two of these beings are Pleiadian,
Okay.
one of which is very clearly um, a mantis being of some
Hmm.
kind, just glowing, beautiful, exquisite being. And, and
I feel
very
like they
female
like that you're
energy.
talking about them. I feel like
Yes,
they,
like
I just got some
it's
chills.
it's amazing how present they are even now. And then there is a crystalline being that is um, not a humanoid form that I could recognize.
Hmm.
Very amorphous, but beautiful, kind of almost like plasma, sparkling, just
Wow.
beautiful. So just, I mean, just incredible to see. And of course, my mother is part of this team as well, very, very clearly
Oh,
part of this. She, yeah, it's just amazing. So it was really wonderful to see them. It was really
yeah.
wonderful to see them, and it's amazing how fully like I've never felt so grounded or so
Yeah.
loved or so supported in the weeks that have passed since. And that is it is not just a one-time thing. It
Hmm.
is an ever-present thing now,
Hmm. Hmm.
which is just
That's
wild
amazing.
and beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for talking about it because I
Yeah.
know for me specifically, this is what has helped me on my journey to let go of any fear or let go of any other impressions I might have from television shows, TV, movies, which has been so impressionable on my mind that many people know, like, I don't just watch TV. There's very few things that I let myself watch because my brain just soaks it in. Um, and I think it's really important to share it because that feeling ultimately too, I think is what helps other people recognize if they have some fear when you're in the presence of something like that, it will feel loving. You should walk away. I don't want to hate to use the word should, but I think you just know the difference. You know when there's something loving versus when there's fear there. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
and that feeling that you've described, I've heard described by pretty much anybody who I know, like my friend Crystal Novak, Kai Bertrand, like they've worked in this field for so long. That's exactly what they describe when they're around their guides. It's that feeling, which is just incredible.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
loving
It's so
groundedness.
loving.
Yeah.
So loving. And that is something, with this point of access through voice. I mean, they were very clear with two things in this first session, which has continued to unfold in beautiful ways.
Hello, I love it when listeners. I want to take a moment to share with you something that I've added to my daily routine that is changing my life. It's about the size of a band-aid and it's called LifeWave. If you struggle with stress, pain, or sleep, these might be something you want to try. LifeWave patches are non-medicated and made of organic materials. Therefore, no substances like chemicals or drugs enter the body. And using your own body heat and light, the patch reflects your own light back into your body and can improve skin appearance and confidence, enhance sports performance, improve mental clarity, help you to relax, improve your sleep, better manage stress, support a healthy cardiovascular system, and more. I'm personally using them right now to heal the varicose veins in my legs, which have gotten progressively worse in the last 10 years. You wear them for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I put one on when I get up in the morning and then I take it off right before I go to bed. I highly recommend checking out the Eon and the X39 patch to begin with. The X39 patch is the world's first and only patented technology that uses a phototherapy system to improve strength and stamina without drugs or stimulants. The other thing I really appreciate about LifeWave is that they've made it very accessible. You can get started for as low as $100 a month and see the impact on your health. LifeWave has been around since 2004 and has over 200 patents as of March 2025. If you're curious about how this technology could help you, check out the link in my show notes or on my website and reach out with any questions. I have also officially started a team, so if you're interested in selling these patches as a part of my team, I'd love to connect with you about it.
But the first thing that they brought forward that they were really excited about was that more people are being asked to find their way to this kind of contact, this first contact, and that disclosure and contact is actually happening at an individual level, that
Mm,
it's not coming through the authority institutions we're normally associated with information like this, that we are actually all being called, if we're interested and willing, to have a relationship, a direct relationship with our star family or our guides or whatever it is we wish to call them. They go by many names and appreciate all of them. So,
mhm,
so their initial message to me was that the the goal is to have more people, myself included, right, to step forward and be able to ask for their assistance, because they do keep this very respectful perimeter and they do all they can, but that they can do more and would like to do more to assist us in our journey. This ascension journey is just so huge that there's plenty of work for everybody on all sides of the fence, so to speak.
mhm,
And that they're very happy to be part of this, and it really does hinge on us being in charge and saying, I need help with this, or
mhm,
I'm ready for help. And they were also clear about the method of request, that I request XYZ is much more effective than I need or I want, because that puts us into that state of needing or wanting rather than in the
yeah.
state of receiving the actual thing.
Okay.
So there's some nuances like that, but the general message was the goal is to have more people and more spaces for people to have positive first interactions with them and to establish the connection similar to this, for each person, where to the one I'm experiencing, where each person feels fully enabled and supported in asking for that assistance at any
Mm-hmm.
time for
Mm-hmm.
anything. And that there are nuances around how that can be, how you can enable the highest and best in that as well, but they also understand that innately too, that they're working for the highest and best for all of us. So that was the first thing. And in the process of talking about that message, they said that the idea of bringing forward vocal toning in a stargazing scenario, in a sort of CE5 like scenario where we're actually going forward with the intention of meeting, connecting, and having direct communication with our star teams in a light container is actually part of the mission of Tone Circle as a business entity. To start, was that we understand how to use these alchemical tools vocally to create safe light containers
Mm-hmm.
for people to have positive first interactions without fear and without any of the other interference that we might experience otherwise. Um,
Wow.
so we can do this in groups, and we can do it often, and we can begin to establish those relationships for ourselves, so that we understand the truth of it for our own
For
selves,
ourselves.
not
Yeah.
through any other authority of any
Yeah.
kind.
Wow.
So I'm really excited to bring this forward. We're testing a new format of circle called a star circle, and we'll hopefully be opening that to the public very soon. So do stay tuned for that. I would love to have you there.
Sounds incredible. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely feel called to come and try it out. I love what you guys have figured out essentially with this. Almost sounds like you kind of have like a three-step process of regulation, alignment, and then self-energy. So realizing
Yes.
that the voice helps remove any blocks or interference or dissonance. And
Yes.
then by getting into that state of alignment, you're in a place where you can connect with other energies, which just all of it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
But to be able to
biggest
help people
thing,
do that without fear, like,
right?
oh, game changer for
Yes.
the whole
Yes.
world.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's just maybe perhaps one of the most profound gifts of vocal toning, is that it does give us that ability to bring up what needs to be released or
Mm-hmm.
integrated or brought out of conflict, so that we
Mm-hmm.
can take that to places
Mm-hmm.
that that can help us with it, right? Like vocal toning is not the same as going to your therapist, right? And you could
Mm-hmm.
take those things that come up, if it's not something that can be fully released through voice, but it also gives that ability to kind of say, to notice, right, in that kind of heightened awareness state, right? It's a heightened awareness that we have that can say, okay, I'll deal with that. I see it, I appreciate that, and here's where I'm going now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we'll come back to that a little bit later. So it gives us some agency in when and how to work on it,
Yeah.
rather than be fully like knocked out by it before, and off the path
Mm-hmm.
that we really
Mm-hmm.
wanted. So
Yeah.
it's an incredible tool. So I'm really excited to bring forward vocal alchemy as kind of a foundational or a way to start thinking about the not just the receiving aspect of what our voice can allow for us, but
Mm-hmm.
to have it become something we use with more intention and kind of have more experience going through that process of, this is the experience I would like to create for myself now.
Yeah.
How am I going to do that? And I'm going to apply my voice to that
Yeah.
method, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then to have the opportunity to expand on that and use it, use those tools very freely in all sorts of ways, but up to and including contact with our families and our
Mm-hmm.
multidimensional help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Wow. So
Have
this
you had
the
any contact experience like that for yourself?
well, good question. So I've talked about on the podcast a little bit, and then we were talking about before you hit record that I'm in one of those places where Brianna had made a comment for those of you listening that I provide a good space where you can just kind of let go and be. And I was like, well, thank you for saying that because for a long time it's been like this, like my fists clenched and wanting something to happen. One of which is like I've said to my guides, mostly in my mind. Now I know to say it out loud. Hey, please, you guys, can you speak in a different frequency so that I can actually hear your voice? Like I'd like to hear if there's one of my guides speaking to me, I'd like to be able to discern the difference between my voice and theirs. It would just be helpful. And I know that I'm in a place now where I can handle it. It's not going to scare me. But that has not happened for me. So I don't see anything. I just have a knowing. My claircognizance is very strong, and I finally have learned to trust it. And there's still times when I don't trust
Right.
it. But I'm in this place where, like, I know I have Thoth, who's an Egyptian god, is one of my guides. I know my grandmother is one. I know I have two angels, Muriel and Ariel. Their names have come to me through energy healings. So, like, I know these beings are with me, but I've never seen them, never heard them. And it's almost like this has been part of my journey to help other people who may be in a similar spot or maybe just need to hear how it happens in a different way, because a lot of my
Mhm.
growth has had to come from fully trusting and surrendering without seeing or hearing, or like the feedback I get
Yes.
is through the signs that I receive with angel numbers or through things happening in my environment. Like that for sure has given me enough confidence that I can't
Mhm.
deny it anymore. But I'm ready for that
Mhm.
next step of seeing and
Yes.
hearing. It's on some level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I will just offer that I asked for that attunement.
Okay.
I asked for it
I think
verbally
that's
because
critical. Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
in the 5 or 6 days prior to the first encounter. I asked for it because I had an opportunity, just I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so much easier if I could just see, hear, and experience you more directly, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and whatever it is that I need to do or experience to have a more direct connection, just please show me, right? Please show me. And I did say that out loud. I think it was in the shower. I was in the shower,
Lots of
just
good
like,
things happen in the
and
shower for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's one of the you've got the water, you've got this like it's a great
Yes.
place it's a very alchemical experience to
Yeah.
shower with intention. But um, I did ask for that verbally. I
Okay.
did, and I remember saying that with just such desire and realizing that um and it was so funny because I felt a presence come in one evening, just as I was falling asleep in that interim period of time, and just as I was kind of in that liminal space between sleeping and waking, right?
Yeah.
And I had a fear response. I was like, oh
Mm.
God, it was my brain stepped in and said, and I realized this in retrospect, right? My brain stepped in and said, oh my God, is this it? And then I got
Mm.
really afraid. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, what if it's it? Like, what if I wake up and see this, that, or the other thing, right? What if I open my eyes? And I got really terrified. And it was like, it shut everything down.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was in the safe space where there was another person, my therapist was there, and she's really excellent also at that kind of holding a safe container, and she does it really excellently. And I could just relax and
Mm.
let it happen
Mm-hmm.
without the fear.
That's such a
So
beautiful way of explaining it. Yeah.
it was a really, but yeah, it was definitely requested, right? It was
Yeah.
not like they
Yeah.
came in and
And then the
said,
thought that it doesn't
yeah,
actually have to happen, like I'm same thing, have that fear response at night because it's like, why does everything have to happen at night? Can it just happen in the
right.
middle of the day, you guys? And it turns out it can. When you
It can.
put yourself in that space, it could happen in the middle of a therapy
Yes.
session or while you're at
Yeah.
lunch or yeah, it
Yes.
doesn't have to happen at
Absolutely.
bedtime.
Right.
That's
And
amazing.
I'm so glad it happened during the day too, because I really needed some recovery time too, because it for me,
Yeah.
those attunements and things come through in very physical
Yeah.
manifestations, right? Like I know it's happening because there's all of this biofeedback happening, right? And I needed to just, take good care of myself for this, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, you just feel like there's all this energy coming through
Yeah.
a body that's not necessarily, it's like putting so much current through a
Yes. Like a
cord
live
needing to be
wire.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
just takes a lot, and it was beautiful. And they did also say that doing this regularly for us can bring peripheral, like side benefits of healing, and longevity too. That was one of the things when they were showing what the
Wow.
channeling experience can look like. So there is a byproduct of healing that happens, but through letting that much light and energy come through
How
your
cool. You're
being.
gonna have to
Yes.
write a book about this or something.
If
Yeah.
I ever get a
About your
handle
whole
of that
journey.
on myself, yeah, handle on it myself, I'll be happy to share. But yeah, absolutely. But I'm excited about the Star Circle experience too, as a
Yeah.
way to all of us can go out there and create a fear-free environment
Yeah. Yeah.
for the most part. Yeah.
Amazing. So this 2-day experience coming up in September is open to anybody. And how many people do you expect, or
Yes.
how many seats do you have?
So we have a maximum of 30 seats. Some of them
Hmm.
are already taken so far. So it's going to be a smaller group because it really is going to be a journey we're taking together
Hmm.
through these techniques, and I'm very excited about it. We're going to be meeting 9:30 to 3:30, so it is roughly a full day,
Hmm.
both Saturday and Sunday, the 26th and 27th of September.
Okay.
So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful journey. We're going to be meeting in West Seattle. And it's really for anyone who would like to, again, no singing experience is necessary. It's
Hmm.
not about performing.
Hmm.
We're not doing any vocal techniques that are out of reach for anybody.
Hmm.
But this is for someone, if you have been toning, if you've come to circles, for example, or done any singing experience and want to just go deeper and see what's possible, this is for you. But also if you have energy work that you do that you love, and you're looking to remove the doubt and any fear and to increase trust of
Hmm.
that, adding voice work like this is a really great way to do it, just like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And mostly, at the end of the day, our voice is reclaiming our voice is like reclaiming any other lost part of self,
Hmm.
right? That when we reclaim those parts of ourselves, we are quite literally reclaiming our superpowers.
Yeah.
So this is a way for us to step into that together in really safe space where we
Love
all
it.
belong.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, so how do
Yeah.
people register?
Yeah. So that we can register through our website. We
Okay.
definitely have a page dedicated to vocal alchemy. You can explore some of the techniques there and the benefits that they produce.
Okay.
And we'll be walking through it together. It's just from the beginning, so nobody is left behind. You don't have to have any prior knowledge of any of these,
Okay.
either from an energy standpoint or a traditional background standpoint or a
Okay.
vocal technique
Oh, good to
standpoint.
know. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
expect this is going to sell out. I feel like, yeah, I don't think you're going to have an issue selling out. And tickets are, how much are tickets?
Tickets are 9.97. Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Yeah, for two full
Very
days, it's an
easy.
amazing
Yeah,
price.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
I'm
gonna be a lot
excited
of
for
fun.
you. I'm excited for all the people. Now I want to come, so I'm gonna have to see if I can make it happen. I think that'd be really cool.
Absolutely. We'd love
Yeah.
to have you. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a tremendous experience together. I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay,
And I know
well,
all our guides are going to be there joining us
the room is
too.
gonna be full. I'm gonna say it's
Right?
gonna,
Packed.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a packed room. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
okay, I
that's going to be
think
so sweet.
those are all the questions I had about the actual event. Is there anything else you want to share at all? You've shared a lot with us today. I appreciate just
Yeah,
everything you've gone into. It's a fantastic episode
absolutely.
for people that are, I think, new to the journey and have been on it for a while. So you can take something away from everything that you've shared. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Our voice will meet us wherever we are, which is what I love about it. It
Yeah.
it really, through this process, going through it myself, realizing that we have our guides, our support, we have our spirit, and we have our voice as this always with you companion.
Hmm.
Always, always. It's like a best friend we never knew we had.
Hmm.
And so it really, really, I'm so excited to share this with the world.
Hmm.
Yeah.
God, love it.
Yeah. So are
Well,
you gonna ask me my favorite love it? I love it when
yes.
is this is that point?
What's your current I love it when for either right now for yourself or for the world?
Oh my gosh. I think we just touched on it, that I love it when people discover confidence in
Mm,
this best friend that they have for life that lives right
mm,
here all the time for
mm.
us.
Oh, I love
I
that.
never get tired of hearing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time today and for everything, all your vulnerabilities that you shared. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Happy to be part of the showing up when things are messy and we haven't figured them out yet, and just
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So good to be here. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Hey Mo, things move fast around here at Tone Circle, and I've already got news. As you know, I'm all about making things better, and the Vocal Alchemy Immersive is no different. We heard yours and everyone's excitement about star circles, and I couldn't resist. So we are turning the Vocal Alchemy Immersive into a Pacific Northwest destination retreat. It's going to be a true getaway with, get this, at least one star circle experience out under the stars, weather permitting. So while we hate to push the date of the immersive from the fall to the spring, this is going to be an epic week worth waiting for. So stay tuned for the details.